You flatter yourself to think this is about you. If I were to be truthful, there can be nothing truer than this. You broke it all, including me. I never wanted to say this out loud. It's because of you that I'm healing. No, you're not coming back. And if you did, I would have nothing other to say than silence. Whatever you feel now makes no difference to me. On this day, in this moment, all the glory and effort goes to me, to the work that you forced upon me, the slavery of my life to yours. You made me work until my fingers bled and my bones pressed through my flesh. I worked because the whip you used was laced with shame and fiery flames that lit up the air. I toiled under the raging hot heat of your anger and self-loathing, and I burned by the flames of your own shame. Yet I pressed on because it was all I'd ever known. Sadness was all I owned, like the only clothes on my back. Loneliness was the blanket I wrapped myself in for a minute while I tried to sleep. And you created a shame-filled monster with eyes that were hollowed out by the spoon of gaslighting hatred. You don't hate me, you say? Man, you foolish man. Who made you think you were so powerful that you could use your force to dominate my soul? Who made you think you were the one who could win by beating me to a pulp? Who made you think you could use your words, wit, and wily words? She needs to be kept on her toes. This will be good for her. It'll keep her humble. You fool. But like one fool to another, I took it. I felt it deep, like it was my own cross to bear. I heard it through my ears and right into my cells. I pressed all the spoken words through my skin and into my bones. For you, for your love, for your kindness. And I hoped you would save the best words for me. I took the scraps off the floor when you said, "Get out of my life." I scraped the water off the bottom of your shoes, only to hear you say, "Why are you still here?" Myself was turned upside down and flipped and flopped until I resembled a pretzel. And then I paraded in front of you in my pretzel-like state, searching for shreds of worth, value, and approval, because I'd never knew what it was like to have it for myself. My worthiness was wrapped up in yours, and my joy was for you. My happiness was to honor you. And then I grew up a tiny bit. Like a little sprout bursting from the hard ground, I had to move my way around the rocks and hard parts in order to find a breath of fresh air. I pinched and pushed my way through. I squeezed and nudged a way forward through mud that was harder than stone, much like your heart. You fool. Of course this is about you. It has always been about you. If you can blow up a strand of 6 golden threads, burn it to the ground with 4 words, then you will always be a fool. Even to God herself I stand in front of, bearing all the scars made by the bloody lashes of your whip. I will stand in front of her with my chest open and my heart exposed, and I will not plead for grace, because it's not mine to ask. It should be you who crawls on your belly before the queen, who carries more than a hat in his hands as he enters the sacred space. Who is the man who abandons his loves? Who is the man who leaves the strand of 6 golden threads and lights them aflame with 4 words? Who takes a covenant made within the ethers of time and grinds its words into dust? Takes an oath of father and bends and contorts it into ugly? Who uses words to spread fire and ash through family lineage and decides to build a camp there? What kind of man takes his wife and breaks and twists her spine so she is unrecognizable to herself. Who does this? Who does this kind of work and then expects to walk into the sacred space of the highest? You. You. And you are a fool. Depraved and disorganized, unkept and dishonorable. You dare to stand in the space of the queen because you actually think you're a king. A statue of a man who bores the names Father, Son, and Holy Husband. So yes, this is about you. And it might always be about you. And now I'm grown up and strong enough to take what is about you and turn it into healing for my own soul and my 6 golden threads. You and I once drank at the same well of life, dipping teaspoons in to drink. And my healing is the water I now stand beside, alongside of you and drink. What once was a teaspoon in my hand is now a bucket. And it is because of your torment that I have the wealth and success of rebuilding everything that has been destroyed by you. Your words were meant to kill my soul, to shred my dignity, and to grind my bones into suppression. So this is my final and last breath under your will. I take in my breath. I take it into the deepest of spaces, guiding it into all the nooks and crannies of my soul, so deep and so wide that my breath becomes the galaxy. I take in the breath of the stars, expanding into the universe, who has held me in its hands while you beat and pressed me into stone. Breath is now repairing my body, which you sliced and diced into 2. Nothing is yours now, for this breath has become me. It was pure bravery and courage that allowed me to breathe in this deep, and it was the rage and anger your words poured upon the kindling of my soul. And when the time was right, a flame emerged from the dried, stacked kindling. An ember rose and ignited into a flame so big and deep, I had no other choice but to exhale. And when I did, the breath of transformation ignited an eternal flame that was tucked and tight and hidden underneath all that rubble, burning you, all the pain and suffering right out of my cells. So this is freedom. Freedom for me, freedom for us. You aren't included in this freedom. And even though you spin stories of how free you feel to not have the 6 strands of golden threads, you dance and yell out, "Yay, I am free," only to realize it's too late. You are falling into the flames of hell and earth. You think it's relief as you fall down towards the flame. You carry me along with you. I fall alongside you. What feels like relief to you feels like to me transformation. And it is here we are separate. Clarity has come. I no longer carry you, and I have found the strength to cling to my own self. On fire, I plummet into the flame, the itch and ache of all the pain that was made by you has been lit with the flame of a purging fire. The pain and letting go, grief, loss, sadness, betrayal, disillusion, and clarity all burn away as the fire scorches open wounds on my flesh as I open my heart to forgiveness. Because one thing I know to be true is this: I'm too smart for the trap of bitterness and the tricks of resentment and victimization. I have gone to the end of my own soul and will come out better than new. This fool thinks he has set me on fire, that I will lay victim to his words and actions. But only fools believe this. I have willingly lit myself on fire with the flame of alchemy, and is now burning the flesh that you once wounded My skin which you bruised, my hair in which you drug me around, saying, "This is mine." My arms you tied and expected me to serve you with. My mouth you taped shut and beat me because I could not find an answer quick enough for you. Oh, she's a burnin', and along with her is the alchemy of God Almighty, a blessing of the divine creator who has watched me like a bird, held me in its hand, whispered in my ear, "It's time to rise." I took this as if it were my last ticket to the world's most incredible show, and I ran with it and flung the doors and stepped right into hellfire, and I enjoyed it because its flames and heat burned you out of me. So it is about you. And I thank you. I thank you for my healing journey. While you sink into the flames crying, "Yay, she will get hers. This will be good for her," and get out of my life. You say this as the flames lick your wretched body, and you are still a fool. It is all about you and nothing about me. For I know it's more important for me to turn to who I am before you beat me and my body. Who was I before your words turned me into a ball of unworthiness and shame? Who was I? Is not the question any longer. I do not point to who done it, who did it, or why. These flames of alchemy are flames of renewal that point inward and beckon the answer out of my own soul. Who am I now? So, thank you for accompanying me on my healing journey. I have now understood what it is like to be free.